Welcome back to Consumer Guard. Now, continuing on our car hijacking topic, we also asked a few people in Gauteng on how they feel driving on our roads.
According to car tracking company C-Track, most of the hijacking incidents occur on Tuesdays, with Sundays having the least. When it comes to the three provinces where the most hijackings take place, the report states that Berea, Durban Central and Phoenix have the highest number of hijacks in the KZN province. In the Western Cape, the most popular spots for hijackers include Bellville, Cape Town and Mitchell's Plain. In Gauteng, Honeydew, Boysens and Roodepoort are considered the most notorious. We asked our pool of consumers if they felt safe driving in Gauteng.
I don't feel safe at all. I think the biggest problem is obvious that crime.
Hey, I'm a taxify driver. Eish, I can't say we're safe. I can't say we're safe because right now I can be anywhere in the area waiting for customers. Anyone can approach me. I don't know how good is the client. Maybe it's got agendas.
Eish, matatsan kasere usafe kare batho ba bona ba hijackiwa every time.
Aish, there's lots of hijacking everywhere, like, yeah.
Not at all. I can hijack you, cell phone is mission grab, there's so many things happening. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm safe. So far I'm safe because I didn't ever see anything bad for me. But some other people, yes, it's bad.
One thing for sure is that crime is at its peak. But whose duty is it to do something about?
I don't know, the police, they think they have to change their attitude towards crime.
Eish, chanchore batho ba tshware ba tshwara dipoho wa bona. Le community chanchore ya mele mapolice.
To stop the crime, it's all about it's all about South Africa in general. To step out and work together, and the police as well must involve inside and outside. So beside police, you can't fix it.
I think government should just start to take it seriously, because a person gets a person gets to jail today, the next day he's out or he's out. So if maybe the police or whatever, the government should just take that seriously.
No, it's something that they need to really look into it. Yeah, something must be done about the crime.
Despite the fact that one never knows when criminals will strike, there are tips that drivers can take note of to possibly avoid being hijacked. We spoke to the MD of Driving Sense, Natalie Mathison, for some advice.
Driving Sense is a specialized training provider company that has been around for 11 years. Amongst some of the training they provide, besides driver profiling and training, is hijack awareness training. This training is offered to individuals and families should they encounter hijacking.
Specifically, what we do is assist you as a person, companies and families. So we try and make you more aware of how to handle situations. So if you are ever in a situation, how to get out of that situation. So if you are attacked, we try and make you more aware so that you know how to get your family out of that vehicle. Okay, and if you are in a hijack situation, what do you do so that you can get your family and your kids out of your vehicle so that you don't leave any babies behind?
It is said that most drivers do not focus when they come across a stop sign or robot, as the music is usually playing loud, as well as the cell phone distraction.
Cell phone. So if I can tell anyone out there, because I think most people, if you look at shopping centres, no bags, but everyone's on their cell phone. So if we can just cut out the cell phone, if you read anywhere out there, everyone's on their cell phone. So if you don't want to be hijacked, please guys.
"68% of the hijackings occur close to people's homes, with the moms being the ones most targeted.
Predators, they actually go for moms out there that have got lots of kids, because when you're in your vehicle, you've got to concentrate on your kids. More importantly, you've got to concentrate on driving, bills, getting home, making food. So what you need to do is try and leave those kids at home, concentrate on what you need to do, and that cell phone, again, you know, it costs money. So what the guys do out there, they know what vehicles they're going to target. 40% of the time they're actually already targeting that vehicle. So if you can just, by the time you're getting home, statistically they're already saying that they've targeted the area.
There are various safety tips that one should take precaution. For example, one should be vigilant when approaching your home. Also, should you be sure you will be home at a specific time, let someone at home know. So should something go wrong, they aren't hand-tagged. If you suspect you are being followed, put your indicator on and slow down at least 2 to 3 houses prior to your home. By doing this, you force the vehicle behind you to pass and can then get a better idea of their intentions. It is also important to obey the law when driving.
We can't drive through red robots. Guys, it's tough out there. Everyone's saying, well, just go through red robots. We can't. We need to abide by the law. More importantly, look and be aware. You know, stop scratching in the car and avoiding certain situations. And if someone comes to the car, confront the situation. Everyone says, oh no, I can't. Just, you know, let's not look at the person. Everybody's human. Okay, you know, if I can say I've been hijacked, I've experienced it. Driving Sense offers hijack awareness training. We do defense courses, but the most important tip that we can say is be aware of your surroundings. A lot more of hijackings would not happen if we just abide by the laws out there.
In a case where you are being hijacked, make sure that you put your hands up covering your head, show the hijacker that you are wearing a seatbelt and that you are not carrying any weapons without looking at the hijacker's face. Speak calmly as you exit the vehicle. If there's another passenger in front of the vehicle, make sure they exit on the same door as you to avoid the hijackers speeding up with them. In a case where you have children in the back seat, calmly let the hijacker know that you have kids. Make sure you don't turn your face from them whilst you open the door. Everyone exiting the car should lie on the floor to allow the hijacker to get the vehicle without harming anyone.
What should you do? Try and not antagonize the hijacker. Okay. More importantly, give him or listen to him. If I can maybe show you in a demonstration. Okay. More importantly, practice with your family. Guys, in our family, we've got 6 kids. My 12-year-old, she actually knows a safety word. So if I say to her a specific word, she would know that something's happening. They also know that that an emergency situation is going to happen, and she would know that I'm going to be getting out the vehicle. More importantly, she's going to wait until I get out, and we will all exit one door.
The one question that comes to mind is, what is law enforcement doing about the ever-increasing stats? Hello, Sandy, and welcome to Consumer Guard.
Thank you very much for having me. Hi.
Now, tell me, as Stats SA, I know that you collect and analyze data. How do you gather this information?
So we've got a very real and functional resource in that we pull from South African Police Service stats. But I think what we do really differently is because we're on the ground as an organisation and we deal with people every day. We're consistently doing crime stats surveys through Crime Stats SA, and our team of consultants is out there with the real population figuring out where the threats in this country lie.
Okay. Now, looking at you know, the increase of car hijackings in South Africa, what do these stats tell us? Or would you say maybe they could help in maybe a prevention of, you know, car hijackings?
Yeah,
because it's been increasing every year, year and year. What do the stats tell us?
I think that the stats tell us that we're living in a very, very scary country at a very scary time. You know, whether your car is getting taken from you, something's getting taken out of your car, or if you look at any statistics relating to motor vehicles, the fact of the matter is there are 570 people being hit in this country per day. And I think as South Africans, we can throw these statistics out there and we go past and we use great websites like what we run with Crime Stats. But we seem to look at the numbers and not say, well, what does this actually mean for my businesses, my family, my own personal well-being? So to answer your question, what is it saying to us? There's a huge message being sent to us as South Africans. The question is, are we necessarily listening to the message that's being sent? Mm-hmm. It is on the increased, Polisa. There is absolutely no doubt about it, and it's drastically so.
So what are the areas, mostly especially in Johannesburg maybe, that we can tell our consumers to, you know, to be on guard on when it comes to car hijackings?
So it would be naive of me to say if you're in a particular area, drop your guard. Everywhere in South Africa, keep your guard up. But undoubtedly, here are the three areas that we can share with you. If you live in the East Rand, strap in, it's the most dangerous. Second, we go from North Rand, so everything from your Sandton suburbs, Greyston being a particular threat, and your third most at-risk region is actually Pretoria, believe it or not.
Pretoria, oh, wow. Now, Sandy, tell me, would you say maybe that police probably are maybe, or police are not doing enough maybe to combat crime, you know, in South Africa, or maybe car theft or car hijackings? Are they doing enough?
No. Unfortunately, there's no easy way to answer that question. And in defense of our police services, I think that there just isn't that capability within the police forces. You know, you are needing specialized crime units to fight car hijackers, because it's not the individual at the robot or outside your home that is posing a threat. It's massive syndicate groups. These are not people who are walking past your home or robots by the by and think that it's a great idea to hit you and your family. These are intelligent groups, well thought out hijackings, and it's run from an intelligence portfolio. It's not done by hook or by crook, excuse the pun. So you know, I think that in order to fight what is needing to be fought, you need to put powers in place that are going to combat that, and that takes resources, and we just don't have them.
Do you think maybe, do you foresee maybe crime decreasing or car hijacking decreasing maybe in the near future?
Absolutely not. What Crime Stats SA does tell us is that the country that we live in is exceptionally volatile. In fact, if we want to throw out some more global statistics, the only countries that beat us globally in terms of our crime statistics are currently experiencing civil war. The statistics are not going anywhere, the threats are not going anywhere, and the only way for the South Africans out there to really get better in handling these threats is to be more vigilant, and when you look at the statistics, actually do something about it, and incorporate safety measures into your life, your home and your businesses. That's the only way it is ever going to decrease, is if we take this power into our own hands and don't depend on what we've already agreed is police services that just simply cannot support us.
So lastly, Sandy, what advice can you give to our consumers, you know, just to be on the lookout and to keep safe?
So I think the primary thing that you've said over there is keep on the lookout. I mean, the number one thing from a training perspective that we put out to the South African market when we're actually doing these kind of courses in terms of anti-hijacking, etc., is don't ever get in this situation in the first place. And that means look out. It means being situationally aware. you know, with limited time on your program, if I had to give one tip to your viewers, it would be this: put your cell phones away. You'll be that much safer.
Thank you so much.
Thanks very much for having me.
To draw this conclusion to a close, here are our thoughts on car hijacking and, of course, our tip of the week.
When it comes to crime, there's a lot of factors that come into play. Some will say the responsibility lies with the cops to prevent such. Others will blame a lack of jobs in our country as a contributing factor. But ultimately, the responsibility lies with consumers. For as long as there is a market for stolen goods, crime will exist in the country. Meantime, it will help if manufacturers offer hijacking awareness training to consumers, especially on the high-selling models. Now, let's take a look at your tip of the week.
Tip 1. Put your hands up, covering your head. Tip 2. Show the hijacker that you are wearing a seatbelt. Tip 3. Avoid eye contact with the hijacker. Tip 4. Speak calmly as you exit the vehicle. Tip 5. Passengers in the front to exit on the same door. Tip 6. If there are children at the back, calmly let the hijacker know. Tip 7. Lie flat on the floor after exiting the vehicle.
We've reached the end of our show, and thanks for tuning in. To read up further on the hijack awareness tips, do visit us on our website on www.ann7.com and click on the Consumer Guide link. You can also interact with us on Twitter and as well as on Facebook. Salang Sinti.